Hello, everybody, peace. And today I'm going to be talking about the Muslim serial killer. Yeah, there was a Muslim serial killer. I really hope that this episode is going to be interesting, beneficial, and let's get right to it. Bismillah.
From beautiful seas to flourishing legacies.
There is a story in Islam which is well known. It's in the narrations. It's about a man, and he was a believer in God. He was a believer in the Creator, Allah, and he had done some very bad things. And specifically, what he had done is he had killed 99 people. And it was something that he was addicted to. It was something that he was unable to move away from. But there was this remorse inside of his heart that he really wanted to make a change. So one day he decides that he's going to go and take a step towards that. And he doesn't want to do this anymore. And then he goes to a monk. He asks the monk, "Can I be forgiven for what I have done, for killing 99 people?" The monk looks at him and all he can see is the people that he's killed. And the monk says, no, no. So the person, the man, he kills the monk. Now it's 100 people, right? Then he feels bad about what he's done. So he goes to a scholar, a person of knowledge, and he asks him the same question. He says, "Can I be forgiven for what I have done?" And the scholar says to him, "Go away from the place that is making you do this, from the environment around you. Go to a new place and make the change, basically. Don't do it again," right? Ask for forgiveness and don't do it again. Move away from that environment. And then the man, he goes and he's on his way to this new place. And then in the middle of it, he passes away, he dies. And two armies of angels come down from heaven. One is the angels of heaven, and the other ones are the angels who will drag him to hell, right? So at that time they have this kind of like conversation about it, and it was decided that wherever he's closest to, if he's closest to the new place that he was going to go, away from the things that he had done, then he would be forgiven, right? However, if he was closer to the place he had just come from, then he would go to hell. So that was how it was decided. Now in this real story, the man was closer to the place he had just come from. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he changed the dimensions of the very earth, making it so that he was closer to the place that he was going. And he ended up going to heaven. He was forgiven for what he had done. So why do I talk about this story? There's a couple of reasons, actually. This story was really inspirational for me, and this is actually what my novel is all about. It's about a very similar kind of storyline. And the reason why it touched me so much is because there were so many layers inside of the story beyond the facts, right? And one of the things was the mercy of our Creator, of course, right? Changing the dimensions of the earth so this person could be forgiven. This person was sincere. They felt bad about what they did. They wanted to change. They made the effort to change, to move away, but then they passed away. And then there was this whole conversation that was happening, and Allah chose him to go to heaven, and that was so profound. But one thing I really want to talk about in this aspect of this story is the advice that the scholar gave, right? The scholar, when he went to the scholar, the advice that the scholar gave to him was move away from the environment that is making you act this way. And this was so powerful to me. And the reason why is because a majority of the stuff that I talk about in the work that I do, the things I write about, is about trauma. It's about trauma. And trauma is something that is environmental, right? And it could be in the womb. There could be stress going on in the womb, but specifically it's not inherent, right? Trauma is something that is from the environment. Now, when a person has gone through, and we haven't been told this person's lifestyle, we have not been told about what they've been through, but I did title this as the Muslim serial killer. So I'm going to swerve a little bit and go away from this specific story and just bring into account some of the research that has been done on serial killers. Yes, we're talking about serial killers, right? So some of the research that has been done on serial killers is the idea that they were traumatized severely when they were children. Some of them had head injuries. Some of them were just the worst things you can imagine happening to a child they had gone through their developmental age, which is around 0 to 7 years old, and the things were unthinkable. And a majority of the serial killers who killed many people, they had gone through this kind of trauma, and they had been in a certain environment, and they had done saying, no, now, am I saying that a serial killer, am I having a debate about, this is not a debate about if a serial killer is able to be changed. The point is that in this specific story, bringing it back to the story, the advice that was given to this man was move away from the things that are triggering you and move towards something that is new and that is different. Now, any one of us who have been in a certain environment, around certain friends, around certain triggers, especially if we have been through certain things when we were children, we will be impacted much more than someone who has not gone through those things. And that impact can really guide our actions. And in this case, his action was an addiction, right? And if you look at the history of addiction, Gabor Mate wrote a wonderful book, In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts. He talks about the source of addiction, the reason why people are addicted to substances and behavioral addictions. In this case, the man who killed 99 people, the Muslim serial killer, was addicted to killing, right? He was addicted to killing. It was an impulse that was almost uncontrollable for him, and he was addicted to this. And the source of addiction is through pain. And most of the time, according to majority of the research, people who are addicted, it is from something that was detrimental in their childhood, or something happened which was created some complex PTSD, and it's a reactionary thing which people just fall into, and everyone is on a scale of it somehow. It's like a spectrum. Everyone is on somewhere on the spectrum. We get a little obsessive, we become compulsive, we become addicted. It really differs, and that is really what I wanted to kind of bring from that story about the power of our environments, the power of our nurturing, the power of the people around us who can influence us in a good way or a bad way, and to never ever take that as something that is small, because the people who we are around, the people who we might not have a choice to be around, the people who we now do have a choice to be around, can have such a huge influence on us, and so can our environment. So if you are someone who is struggling with something that you've gone through in the past, just believe that there is a way. If you really want, there is a way that you can redeem yourself, just like the man who redeemed himself by the permission of Allah. Then a man who killed 99 people, literally the Muslim serial killer. There is always hope for all of us. Anything that we've done, no matter how huge or terrifying it brings you back into the past, and you just can't forgive yourself, just know that if a man, like I said, killed 99 people, and the Creator chose to change the dimensions of the earth just so he can forgive him, then there is always hope for you, and there's always hope for me. And I hope we can keep that in mind today. Have a wonderful and blessed day, everyone. I hope you found this one beneficial. And I wanted to let you know there is a free downloadable of my book, The Woke Writer. It is all about letting go. It is all about surrender, and there is also a 14-lesson video course on this very topic as well. I really hope you make the most of it. All the links are under this video. Have a beautiful and blessed day, everyone. Peace.